Alright guys, so the first thing that we did was lift this sucker up on some quick jacks. That way we can get to this little radiator here. The reason why we took this sucker off is because it has a little pin-sized hole in it right there. And we're actually going to go run to a local radiator shop to see if they can repair this. I believe they can just like spot weld that with a little bit of aluminum rod, right?
Oh yeah, they should be able to spot weld it, and also they're going to pressure test it. So we were thinking about doing it ourselves, but we wouldn't be able to pressure test it.
Yeah, and we don't want no type of leaking after we get this back on there. We just want this car to be running with coolant in it so we don't mess anything up, and we can like drive it around back.
Yeah, so we're going to have to figure out what type of coolant goes in it as well.
Yeah, there's two separate like coolant systems on this. As you can tell, there's two tanks right there. One of them is empty, and that's the big one. So I have to probably just buy some like at O'Reilly's or something because it is green coolant anyways.
So it shouldn't be too hard to figure that out, I guess. Let's head that way.
Let's do it. Alright, so we are back from the radiator shop, and they actually ended up fixing this thing in 3 different spots right there and right there. But this sucker has been tested, pressure tested, and it should not leak when we throw it back on. And also, while we were at it, we picked up some coolant, and we ended up getting this AutoZone universal coolant, which is green in color. We did find some European coolant at the store, but it was blue, and we really did not want to mix the green color that's coming out there, so this stuff should be perfectly fine. So let's go ahead and throw this radiator back on the car and fill up the system. Alright, so we finally got a radiator installed, and also we got the coolant poured in there, and we even vacuum pumped it just to get all the air out of the system. And we got this sucker up to temperature, everything runs fine, the fans kicked in and all that good stuff, so we are good there. The very next thing that we're going to do is actually bring in all the parts that we already picked up from the dealership. We've got a bunch of parts, but the most important thing that we want to focus on right now is actually this damage right here, right?
Yeah,
So get that sucker fixed, and how do we plan on doing that right there?
we can probably just bend that right up with a few crowbars and probably some hammers. It kind of just got pushed down at the top right there, which really does not look like a big deal at all.
Yeah.
But our main thing is to fix that and then throw that upper radiator support on and see if some of these body panels actually line up.
Exactly, so let's just go ahead and bring in all those parts, and then we'll just go from there.
Right, so you might have noticed us having a little snack there, but you know, we are back to business. What'd you have there?
Just a little brownie, a couple of like coffee. I don't know what you call it. Coffee and milk mixed together makes a little milky coffee.
That's that new little TikTok thingy that they made.
Yeah.
So somebody from the house hooked us up there, but we're back to business right now. What do we got going on?
Well, we got all the parts in, by the way. We got the hood, a bunch of big boxes. I believe we got the bumper and a few other things here and there, but we're mainly focused on this upper radiator support because we're just trying to straighten this piece out. I already hammered it a little bit up top here, straighten it out as best as possible. But according to the tram gauge in the new part over here, it looks like we may have to pull this thing forward a little bit, like a quarter of an inch.
Yeah, so it wants to go like that pretty much,
Yeah,
right?
it wants to just bend open right here. Kind of got pushed back there in the accident, so shouldn't be a big deal. We're thinking about using a winch that we have on the ground over here, or we may even bring in the forklift.
I think the forklift is the best bet because we actually got a sliding camera as well. We're thinking about using that because it is aluminum. It shouldn't be too hard, but there's no like perfect attachment on that sucker. So I guess forklift it is, ain't it?
Yeah, I guess we'll just like chain it up and just put it to the boom and just slide it back. So let's go ahead and fire that sucker up.
Ooh-wee, man.
Hey, this is a framework machine, a
Dude.
portable one.
A frame machine on wheels, that's for sure right there. Dude, that was pretty nice right there, how it pulled out.
Yeah, pulled out pretty dang good actually. All the bolt holes finally lined up perfectly. Let's just go over there and check it out.
Hey, dude, I'm glad we bought that thing right there. Great investment.
Big old blue right here. Call him
Big
old blue.
old blue, man.
Old
Puts
blue.
in work like no one else.
Oh yeah. And we got big blue right. I mean big
Big camo.
camo right here.
She gets old blue out the dirt.
She gets old blue out. She can get anything out of the dirt right there.
Man, we gotta have both. We gotta have all that, man. Do what we do.
We're right on the money, man.
Are we?
We're right on the money. Both holes line up perfectly. So we finally are able to screw in these holes at the top. I mean, these bolts over here, dude. We're good, dude.
The only issue that we had while we were pulling is that this sucker was kind of sliding, but we had some that little.
Blocks, yeah. We had blocks, some triangles right here trying to hold it back. But you know what? We just kept pulling, and it went right to its original spot.
That
Honestly.
aluminum was pretty dang easy to pull. What would have been nice is if we would have sunk some hooks into the concrete.
But back in the day, we should have did that. You know,
Back
we
in
weren't thinking about that. You know what? But I believe we're only gonna tell if this is good once we get all the body panels.
Yeah,
on.
so we're gonna test fit all the body panels.
There may even be some more pulling. Who knows? We may even have to get that sucker on the frame machine. You know, we don't know yet. But as of right now, it went all perfectly smooth, went right back to the spot. I believe everything's gonna fit.
Yes, sir. So what's the next thing that we're gonna do right now?
Next thing we're gonna do is actually open up probably all the boxes because you know I want to get the radiator clamps on here. I wonder, did we order those?
I think so. The
Big
radiator
old
bars or
yeah.
big old supports or whatever you call
Yeah,
it.
so we're gonna go ahead and unbox everything, see what we got, and just slowly start piecing this front end together.
Dang, son.
That's a super bumper right there, man.
That's just a plain old super bumper right there. Look at that. It's primed and everything. So far with all the parts, man, they've been on point.
Probably one of the best ways that we got brand new parts. You know, everything is boxed up 100%. Nothing is just bubble wrap and that's it. You know.
That's a German engineer for sure. And there was a lot of it said Toyota partnered in what did it say? In partnership with
BMW or
something like that.
These parts I believe are made in Germany or Europe. I mean the car I believe is made in Europe. So.
Yeah, that's a European super right there, which is pretty dang cool, man.
Yeah.
As the more we work on this the more we work on this car, the more and more actually kind of liking it now. You know what I mean?
What? Figuring all this stuff out, knowing that it's made in a totally different way than a normal BMW or Toyota is made. You know, it's crazy.
Dude, it's pretty dang complex. You know, as you can tell, a bunch of these little parts right here is just front end components to hold up the radiator support, hood latches. The hood latches are pretty crazy right there too.
Yeah, they have their whole little bracket thing right here, which is pretty crazy. That's
bracket mechanism. Also, we got those Supra covers, engine bay covers.
Yeah, some dress up pieces, for these big this engine bay is huge. The way the hood is set up, it's all the way across, so you need some big old covers to hang it nice.
That hood though, man.
That's huge, man. We may have to hold that off a little bit. We may have to first try to figure out where all this stuff goes. It's been it's been a month or so since we worked on this thing, so we're gonna have to start piecing this together slowly. But I have some pictures on my phone.
Yeah, so that's always a good thing to have, just to reflect upon. But I guess let's start doing some front end work over here.
Let's do it. Other than the body parts,
Dude, this sucker is just flowing together. Honestly, I thought it was going to be a little bit harder, but man, just based off of memory, we're not even going off
pictures. Man, I'm telling you, dude, them superfoods. We're just taking a lot.
Them superfoods, protein bars, and brownies, and that coffee, man.
Man, that just got us going. But we got basically everything around the radiator completely reassembled. All the new parts here. But this is actually a used part. I believe this is just how the bumper is so it doesn't flex or something in there. It's like the nose of the.
Looks like a beak.
Yeah. But we got this new lower, what do you call this?
That's an air shroud or fan shroud?
Air guide, yeah. Air guide, lower air guide. We threw this bar back on. Everything just went nice and smooth so far. Up to the top, we got these brand new brackets over here, brand new hood latches here and there. I mean, this is just looking like a Supra, you know what?
It's starting to look like this.
Man, I wish, man. We are still in limp mode. For some reason, the engine won't rev up. It'll just be like.
It revs up real